Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jackie, and today's going to be kind of a new series on life in my 30s, basically my 30s diary podcast. And I kind of want to upload this every Sunday, talk about life, talk about lessons I've learned, and how pretty much when we're in our 30s, we are not falling behind. And I feel like a lot of people right now, especially because of social media, we're all feeling like we're falling behind, like we're not doing enough, like we're not succeeding in life. I want to remind you all that you are not falling behind. We are all just here in life. And honestly, for me, I want to be thriving, not just surviving. So it's going to be a pretty fun series. And I really want to actually pivot to more of basically my journey in my 30s on this channel, and hopefully people in their 30s or whatever age you're at, I hope that this series can really resonate with you and help you and strengthen you as well on this journey of life. So I'm very excited as well to start this, and I have a lot of really fun videos coming up as well, more so on health, wellness, thriving in your 30s, finding peace in your 30s, staying consistent with habits, balancing your career and your self-care and your relationships in life. So many interesting topics, and I'm so excited. I mean, I love this topic so much. As you might know, I did a lot of massage therapy videos, and I'll still incorporate that into my videos, but I really want to make content that I'm like so passionate about. And I feel like when I make content on what I love, I feel like that naturally gets more people to watch my content, especially when I travel, because when I travel, I'm in my happy place. I'm in my zone. And honestly, like I do get more views when I'm traveling because I love it. I get to be creative. And with massage therapy, I mean, I just feel like because I already do it for work, it's a lot harder to make content on that. And of course, I still want to help you guys out there who are in this career of massage therapy, but I also do other things as well. I'm a freelancer. I do creative things on the side, and there's just more to me than massage therapy. So today's going to be a fun video because we're going to talk all about debunking those myths and realizing that we're all on our own timeline in life. So first, I want to point out that social media is insane, and I feel like obviously when you're on social media, you're just posting your highlights of life. So we see everyone getting into grad programs. We see everyone with like huge groups of friends and a lot of posts about people getting married, having babies, and the list goes on. You know, we post the best things that we want people to see, and that's just the reality of social media. And I hope that we all know by now that it's not the whole picture of life, because obviously no one's life is perfect and we all go through ups and downs, and that's what makes life honestly beautiful in my opinion. But especially when we're scrolling on social media and when we're at our low points, we see people experiencing these amazing things. We realize, oh my gosh, I'm so behind in life. I am not where I want to be in my career. I don't have a child yet. I'm not even married yet. I'm not even in a perfect relationship. People have doubts about themselves, honestly, and that is normal. But I would also say that when we go through those moments of doubting ourselves and feeling so low, I think it's great to take a step back from social media. And that's a reminder for myself too, because lately, especially when you're someone who posts on social media a lot, I feel like you have those moments of scrolling, and especially mind scrolling, and feeling like you're not where everyone else is in life. But the reality is that we need to get out there, be outside of our heads and into our hearts. I know that's kind of corny, but I think that when you're on social media, you're thinking so much about yourself, about how you're comparing yourself to everyone. But when you get out of your head and really step into like the physical, your body, your heart, I think that's when you really start to enjoy life. Get out there, interact with others, how are people actually doing? And what you'll see is that you'll see the reality of life, that of course it's amazing when people are experiencing the very best, but also people right now, especially after the pandemic, people have been feeling a lot lonelier in life and trying to get that community back. People are just experiencing life for what it really is. And I hope that you all know that social media is not real. And we're all still just trying to figure things out, even in our 30s. Because for me, in my 20s, that was a crazy time. I guess I'll get more into that topic later because I actually have a specific myth that says that your 20s were the best years of your life. That's a myth, at least in my life. But I'll get more into this topic later. But I guess we all think that once we hit 30, we are so clear about our life and our direction, and that we're like super adults in life and that we have everything figured out. But we're still figuring things out. And I want to be here for you guys and let you know that you're okay. We're all just on the same earth, living life and trying to find joy and peace and happiness the best that we can. So, okay, let's start with the first myth. So the first myth is, if you're not married with kids yet, something is wrong. And that's really interesting, especially in this day and age. I feel like, I think people are just starting to date, honestly, in their late 20s and 30s. I feel like, especially for millennials, we really want to feel like we're established enough, or that we kind of have a better direction of where life is going and get to know ourselves more, maybe go to that therapy and figure out more about who we are before we actually start dating and trying to find our future partner. Back in the day, people would get married like so young, like after high school, in their early 20s, maybe even teens. But now the ages are getting a lot higher, and people are really wanting to work on themselves before they try to find their future partner. And I love that for this generation. I mean, I think it's really cute too for young people to meet the love of their life. That's a really cute moment. But the reality is that mental health is a huge thing in our generation, and we want to make sure that we feel stable enough to be in a healthy relationship, and that's beautiful as well. And also, we don't want to just get married and have kids because of family pressure or societal pressure, because that's not good as well. And if you're doing it out of pressure, I feel like finding your future spouse or having kids, it won't be as enjoyable. I had a conversation with one of my friends. I won't say her name just because I want to keep the privacy, but she said that she felt like she would only have kids only to make her family proud, or not that she would only want to have kids, but I guess the main thing for her to have kids would be to make her family proud or to make her family happy. But in reality, she feels like she should have kids only if she feels that true desire inside. And I think that's so true. We can't just rush and have kids and marriage just because of pleasing our families. So in my opinion, I think that you should take your time and only do it if you're truly ready. And a lot of people find the love of their life later in life too. You don't have to be in your late 20s or 30s to find that person. I mean, people are in their late 30s and their 40s. I went to a wedding, I think 2 years ago, of someone who got married in their 60s, and that was beautiful too. What a beautiful moment. So there really is no timeline when it comes to love, in my opinion. I know it seems that way when you're young and everyone, you see, people on Instagram, with their husbands, and it's all a cute moment, but don't rush that, because honestly, finding the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life is a really important decision. And I'm married as well, and I think that is true. The person you're going to marry is going to affect how your life is as you grow older, because you want a spouse who will, love you unconditionally, someone who treats you with so much respect and kindness, someone who matches your personality and energy, someone who doesn't do anything. Obviously, this is obvious, but someone who isn't aggressive or gets super angry or violent and all that stuff. You want to find like someone who will really make your life at peace. So take your time with that and don't rush, because what matters is really doing something that feels right to you and not just doing it for the timeline. Also, it's okay not to get married at all, too. I mean, some people just don't want to get married. If that's truly a desire in your heart, then I say it's worth it from my experience. But, some people are just waiting, like they're single, they want to find the right person, and that might take them a while, or maybe just marriage is not in the picture for them, and that's okay too. So, just want to put that out there for you guys who are just like, marriage is not really for me, or kids are not for me, and that's fine too, because for this generation, I know it can be hard to have kids with the economy of it all, with world conditions, and etc. But of course, if it's in your heart, I think you should go and have kids. So anyway, let's go on to the next myth, which is changing careers in your 30s is risky. A lot of people in their 30s think that they have to be like at the very, very, very top of their career to feel successful and to feel like, okay, like I'm sorry, that was my cat. Yeah, a lot of people think that they have to like be at the top of the corporate ladder and that they have to make so much money in their 30s. But honestly, again, everyone is in their own timeline, and some people might be changing careers, and that's completely normal. I think honestly, most people are changing careers or still figuring out what they want to do. What I will say is that I think in your 30s, you have a clearer direction of your life and where you want to be in all aspects. Whereas like in your 20s, you're still figuring everything out from the bottom up. But when you're in your 30s, you kind of have a better idea. But again, you're still in like the building blocks of your life. And obviously, I'm 32 years old right now, and I feel like in your 40s, maybe you'll have like a very, very clear direction, and maybe you are at the top of your career in your 40s. Again, I wouldn't know because I'm not in my 40s. I really wonder, but at least in your 30s, and especially your early 30s, I think that it's okay to keep on exploring and changing careers. So I just want you all to know that changing careers in your 30s is not a failure at all, and it is normal. And there actually is a study that most people change careers at least 2 or 3 times in their lifetime. Isn't that interesting? So your 30s are actually a great time to pivot because you have more experience, you have a better sense of what you don't want to do. And honestly, like you just have a stronger like detector of like toxic environments and workplaces. And so it's like if something doesn't suit you or you see something very toxic in the workplace, like it's easier for you to like leave and find something better. Also, what I will say is that I think a lot of people in their 30s are exploring their passions and wanting to pursue things that they've always wanted to pursue. Like I see a lot of people my age or in their 30s who are becoming like Pilates instructors, who are becoming yoga instructors, personal trainers. A lot of people starting their own like small businesses as well. A lot of people who are creators too. And I think it's really interesting because again, like starting your own business is probably not something that they studied in school or whatever, or maybe they studied something completely different. But I think people really go towards like what their dreams are and what they've always wanted to do. And I think I'm on that boat because I am not currently like pursuing anything that I had studied. However, like I am pursuing something that I have always wanted to do ever since I was younger, which is working towards owning my own spa one day, and then also being a freelance creator as well. So those are two things that I've always wanted to do ever since I was younger, and I'm very happy about that. And of course, I feel like I could always do more, and that's just how I feel always, but especially in my 30s. And I think that's how a lot of people feel. But at the end of the day, like, I'm very grateful for where I am at in life. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the opportunities and the things that I can do and pursue. And I'm very, very excited. But that's what I'm saying is that I changed my career like 3 or 4 years ago. And who knows, maybe it'll change again in like 5, 6, 7 years. We'll see about that. But don't feel like you're a failure if you want to pursue something else, because there are so many unlimited opportunities in life, no matter how old you are and no matter what you do. Like, I love this video of Jennie from Blackpink, and she says that she actually does not feel any self-doubt because she knows what she wants in life, and she's very clear about what she wants, and she knows that she can do it. And I love that. I love that for her, and I really want to have that mindset too, because I have so many dreams and goals, but sometimes I do have that self-doubt. And I feel like when you really believe in yourself 100%, I think that's when you really, really achieve your dreams. So again, I think it's even better if you change careers and like really do what you're passionate about. Because let's be real, guys. When we go to college, when we finish high school, we're like, 17, 18 years old, and we're supposed to pick a major that will give us a career for the rest of our lives. Like, that sounds strange to me. Like, I feel like when we're that age, when we're 18 years old, we don't even know what we want to do fully. I mean, I feel like we're very much molded by society and what our family thinks we should do and all of that. But now that we're in our 30s, it's like, okay, we know ourselves more. We know where we want to be in life. We're not controlled by what others may think of us or what our parents want us to do. So, I mean, we just know ourselves better, and we know that, and we know what we want to do in life, and we're not those 18-year-olds anymore. We're in our 30s now, and I think it's so cool. And that brings me to my next point, and that is, just because you're 30, that doesn't mean that you are quote unquote old. Because I remember when I was like in high school, I thought that 30-year-olds like were kind of old, and that they were like adults and that they knew everything about life. They were like the CEOs of their life, and that they made so much money, and that that they were all married and had kids and all that stuff. But when I meet people like my age, obviously like in my 30s and all that, even like 40s, I feel like we're just humans. We're not like, we don't know everything about life. And we still love to have a lot of fun, and we listen to the fun music. We post cute little pictures on Instagram. We have friend groups where we love doing funny things on TikTok or Instagram. And I don't know, we're just humans. We're not like what you would think an adult should be like, in my opinion. Like, for example, for me, it's like, I love making in like social media videos. I love making like fashion videos, funny, silly videos. I remember when I was like 27, I was still making these weird, like these crazy little skits on YouTube. And now that I look back, it is a bit cringy, but honestly, I'm kind of a cringy person, and I feel like you have to have that cringe if you want to be online. And I just do it sometimes. Like, I don't really get embarrassed that much, honestly. I just post, and it's fun for me. And yeah, I feel like a lot of us have very youthful spirits, and we're still out there laughing our butts off and having the most fun. But now we're in our 30s, and we have more money than we used to have when we were 18 years old, and we can go out to fun little cute bars, or go dancing. There's actually a Taylor Swift night that I want to go to, and they're going to play a bunch of Taylor Swift music, and I really want to go to that. But yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun time, and we're not quote unquote old just because we're 30. The next myth is that your 20s, why do I keep doing that? But that your 20s are the best years of your life. And honestly, that is not true, at least in my opinion. I think that my 20s were amazing in some ways, but also very much dark. And also your 20s is like so crazy because it's like, it's your first years out of high school and you're still like, you know, kind of a baby in a way because like you're probably in your late teens and maybe that was your first time ever experiencing a relationship at that time. And so you might have experienced your first heartbreak. And then there's working a lot while going to school and balancing a lot of different things in life. And then there's growing up and trying to figure out what you want to do with your life next and your jobs and careers. And then it's losing friendships that you had in high school, possibly making new friends, maybe even dating a little bit more. And it's just, honestly, it's a crazy time. It really is. And for me, I also got married in my 20s. I got married in my later 20s too. So that was like, whoa, from like literally my early 20s, when I like had experienced my first heartbreak in a way. And then, well, not my first heartbreak, but like a pretty serious one. And then from getting married in that same decade too, that's crazy. And then, yeah, it's just a crazy time. And then also like trying to figure out your style as well and trying to glow up in your 20s. And for me, I had a lot of like skin issues in my 20s too. So I was dealing with a lot of confidence issues when it came to that. So it's definitely an interesting time for me. Like, it was definitely a roller coaster because I had so much fun too. Like, I met my best friend in my 20s. I traveled with my best friend to New Zealand and Mexico. I traveled a lot. I studied abroad in my 20s. And I started my YouTube journey in my 20s as well. Oh my gosh. So a lot of great things happened, but also a lot of like not great things happened too. And I just feel like so much more at peace in my 30s. And of course, I only lived 2 years in my 30s, but I had already felt so much more peace, so much more relaxed. And maybe a part of that had to do with also like being married as well, because I feel like my husband gives me a lot of peace. And I remember when I first dated my husband, I was like such an anxious person. Like, I actually have a song that I wrote when I was like 24 maybe, where I'm like, it's basically about me being all over the place and me just being so anxious and not knowing where I was in life and feeling down at times. But I feel like my husband really helped me a lot, and I'm not as anxious and stressed out as I used to be. I was crazy stressed when I was younger, but yeah, I feel like 30s is definitely a more relaxed time in my opinion. And it is true, you do have a better sense of your finances and you do have that money to like go on vacations with your friends or your husband or whatever. And it's different though, because when I was traveling in my 20s, I didn't really have that much money. So you know, I would take the bus. I would take the Greyhound bus to LA, like a 9-hour bus to see my best friend. And we weren't, you know, when we traveled, we weren't staying in the most luxurious places. And it was like budget travel back in the day. But I think now it's very much like comfortable, like fun and relaxing travel, if you know what I mean. But I saw something on Instagram that was like, now that I'm in my 30s, I feel like I can really live out my 12-year-old dreams. And I think what that meant was like, oh, now I can buy the things that I want to buy, the clothes that I want to buy, the makeup that I want to buy. and wear the things that I want to wear, you know? So I feel like that is so true in a sense, and I'm loving that for us girlies in our 30s. So yeah, I think that your life really starts in your 30s compared to like the tumultuous nature of your 20s, which is a great time too. You know, that's what really molds who you are. But I think your 30s is a great time, and a time where you can finally explore what you love to do, what your passions are, what your dreams are. So that is the first episode of the 30s Diary, and I hope that this all resonated with you guys and helped you realize that you are not falling behind. We're all where we're supposed to be, and even if we don't feel like we should be where we want to be, it's never too late to change your life and to really achieve the next goals of your life. And start small, you know, start with even just the smallest habits too, like waking up a little bit earlier, exercising, trying to eat healthier. I feel like healthy habits can really translate into where you want to be in life, in all aspects too, not just your health, but in your career life, your love life, your spiritual life. I feel like starting with the small habits can really get you to where you really want to be. So I love you guys so much, and I hope that we can create a fun little community of us people in our 30s just trying to figure it out and not just surviving but thriving. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.